Alright, so for the finger stretch thing, because we're working on increasing the stretch between the ring and the fourth finger, that's why you're going to use no middle finger here. So, don't need to do this at any particular tempo. This way you can focus more on getting the fingers down where you need them to be. So just one chord at a time, and then move it down one fret at a time. Anytime you hear anything that sounds funny, make sure you stop, adjust your hand as necessary or as needed, and keep doing that until the notes sound good. And then slowly work your way down. No need to get there on the first day, but eventually you'll get there. So I need to keep my wrist fairly straight because I got wrist problems. So I gotta really put my arm far out here. So if you need to be in an uncomfortable position a little bit, like I am right now, in order to hit the stretch, try it. As long as nothing's hurting. So yeah, sometimes we just gotta put ourselves in slightly awkward positions to hit some certain stretches and whatnot. Classical guitar players do it all the time. So we can do it too. So, I'm going to change screens here. Let's do this. So, just recapping the stuff we talked about. So, major scale formula is the big thing to keep in mind here as far as where our intervals come from. So, W for whole, H for half. And looking at it in the terms of a circle, so following the major scale formula. Always, you can start it on any note and you'll always wind up with the major scale. So from the first note you go up a whole step to the second, whole step to the third, half step to the fourth, whole step to the fifth, whole step to the sixth, whole step to the seventh, and then a half step up to the root note again, or at the higher octave. So technically, when you start on the first note here and you go around those whole steps and half steps and you land back on the first, that's your Ionian mode. If you start on the second note of the major scale and you go around the whole steps and half steps that way, that's the Dorian mode. And so every note within the major scale can be the starting point of a mode. And that's what's going on here. It's kind of showing you the patterns of whole steps and half steps that would make a mode itself. And then we looked at this guy. This way you can see, again, the major scale laid out at the top. So whole step, half step, whole, half. So anytime you deviate from this pattern here, you wind up with flat intervals or sometimes sharp intervals. So we've got the flat 3 in the Dorian because it is a half step below where the major third is. So you can say flat third or minor third. And then here, the 7th interval, or major 7, that's always a half step below the root note. Well, here, because we're a whole step below the root note, that's why it's a flat 7, also known as a minor 7. So when we look at this, you got your 1, first interval, and then you can call this the second interval, or major second. We can call this the major third, or just third. We can call this a fourth, or perfect fourth. We can call this a fifth or perfect fifth. We can call this a sixth or major sixth. We can call this a 7 or major 7. So just want to let you know that in case you run into any of that stuff online. So basically 2 ways of describing the same thing. So here you can say flat 3 or minor third. And here we can say flat 7 or minor 7. Same thing. So in the Phrygian mode, we have a flat second or minor second. Got the minor third or flat third. Minor 6 or flat 6. And minor 7 or flat 7. Lydian has the sharp 4. And that's the only difference between Lydian and Ionian. Mixolydian has the minor 7 or flat 7. So it's basically like an Ionian mode with just you flat the 7 and makes it Mixolydian. Aeolian mode, or the minor scale, or you may hear it be called the natural minor scale. It's got your minor third, minor 6, and minor 7. And then the Locrian mode, the oddball here, you got your flat second or minor second, flat third or minor third, perfect fourth still. Here we can say a flat 5 or diminished fifth. We'll be getting into diminished chords soon. And then flat 6 or minor 6, flat 7 or minor 7. So basically everything here is flat except for the 4. And it goes without saying that the 1 isn't flat, because if you flat the 1, well, you just got a new 1. And then we looked at this. So showing that, you know, the intervals as you go when you're playing each of these mode shapes. And it just cycles through the same 7 things again in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So that's basically most of what we looked at. Yeah, so we'll get into more stuff next time, as far as like understanding how to write out the names of notes within each major key and whatnot. So if you got any questions with the mode stuff, scale stuff that comes up in between now and our next class, let me know. I'll see you again Monday.